Hello everybody, Alligator the SideQuest Gamer here, and today we're going to look at a Super Nintendo game. But is it really a game or more of an application programmed into a cartridge? Well, without further ado, today we are looking at Mario Paint for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Please, sit back and enjoy. Well, without further ado, let's roll the footage and take a look at Mario Paint.
I have to admit, it's really hard to judge Mario Paint. Last time I checked, it wasn't on the Nintendo eShop. It's not exactly a game. Well, except for the mini-game where you get to swat 100 flies until you fight the boss fly. If anything, it's more of a computer application programmed into a cartridge, which is even more evident since this game is only compatible with the SNES mouse, not the standard controller. Perhaps Nintendo is trying to make the SNES more than just a video game system. So what is Mario Paint exactly? Well, if you don't know, then I highly recommend you examine the title closely and give an estimate. So anyways, you are presented with a white title screen with a 16-bit Mario hopping about. Start the game by clicking on Mario. Then you're brought to a blank canvas with primary, secondary, and tertiary colors laid out for you on the top of the screen, and the bottom of the screen is the type of game mode you want to play in. As for the controls, the entire game is controlled by the SNES mouse, not the controller, and the mouse works really well like a normal mouse would on a PC. Now, Mario Paint is more than just a drawing program, I will say. It has a coloring book game mode where you get to color Yoshi and Mario and Goombas or whatever you want, as well as other objects like birthday cakes or animal crackers. There's also a really neat animation feature where you draw out a path on a canvas of where you want your object to go on the screen, and then you draw different behaviors of the image on each frame, and enough experience can get you a decent animation of whatever you've drawn. Mario Paint is well known for two game modes it features, the Fly Swatter game and the Music Composer. These features are likely where you'll spend most of your time on. After playing around with the Music Composer, I finally was able to compose my review show's theme song. YouTube has really made the Music Composer famous. There are people who get 1,000,000 views just by composing complicated songs like Through the Fire and Flames by Dragon Force. My only complaint about the Music Composer is the inability to use half notes and whole notes, which isn't a big deal to some, but really limits what kind of music you can compose. The Fly Swatter game involves you swatting flies, but you can take damage from microfly swarms, needles, and fireballs. Must be some mutant flies we're dealing with. I've honestly never made it past the final fly boss, but it's fun when you're bored coloring Yoshi orange for the millionth time. This review's much shorter than my other reviews, mainly because there's not much to review. I mean, what it does flawlessly. And the lack of a tutorial system is kind of frustrating. There's probably an instructions manual, but in today's age, it's pretty hard to find. So overall, I would say Mario Paint, although not much to talk about, I can say I've had tons of fun with it. It's a great way to waste a weekend, and if I'd had to give it a rating, I would give it 4 paint buckets out of 5. Also, be sure to download the Enhanced Music Composer if you can, since it allows you to save your music compositions. And if you can find this game, I would say go for it. It's a nice addition to your SNES collection, say if you're a collector. And I'd hardly call it decade-defining, but it's well worth playing around with. And don't underestimate the fun you can have with this game. I've also heard that they were going to make a sequel to Mario Paint for the Nintendo 64. In fact, they were going to make a whole series of these games for the Nintendo 64. One would involve computer animation, like very basic computer animation, like modeling 3D avatars. But unfortunately, those games were cancelled, which is disappointing because it really could have been a popular series. In fact, why didn't they even remake this game? I mean, it would have also done well on the DS, especially since the stylus could act as the mouse. I mean, some of the art games like Art Academy were really popular on the DS. It was a missed opportunity on Nintendo's part. They could remake this game with additional features on the 3DS, but I haven't heard any plans from Nintendo, so I guess the Super Nintendo Mario Paint is all we have for now.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. I had so much fun with Mario Paint, and I recommend you give it a download. I mean, it's actually free, and there's like an enhanced version on the internet. And I recommend you check that out. After all, some of the most famous YouTube videos in gaming involve Mario Paint. Just check it out, play around with it. You might like it, you might not, but again, thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay awesome.